Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right? I mean, you're eating clean, you're staying active, but your body just isn't quite finding that deep sense of balance and strength you're working for. And it's super frustrating, right? Well, it turns out there might be a hidden saboteur at play, something working against your health goals that has nothing to do with calories or willpower.
It really is the million-dollar question. So that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. We're going to look at some fascinating science that suggests the answer might not be in our gym bags or refrigerators, but actually in the environment all around us.
All right, let's dive right in. We're going beyond the usual talk of calories and crunches. We're going to take a much deeper look at our metabolism and some of the subtle, often invisible forces that can influence our body's fundamental harmony.
Now, of course, what you eat and how you move are absolutely foundational. But a growing body of research, like the 2022 paper from the journal Nutrients that we're exploring here, is pointing to environmental chemicals as a really significant and often overlooked piece of the metabolic puzzle. These are compounds that can kind of subtly nudge our bodies off course.
And this brings us to a concept that honestly sounds like it's straight out of science fiction, but it is very, very real. It's called the obesogen effect. It's this idea that certain chemicals in our environment can actively work against our body's own natural weight regulation systems.
So what in the world is an obesogen? Well, to put it simply, it's a type of endocrine-disrupting chemical. Think of these as molecules that can impersonate our body's own hormones. They send these confusing signals that can, among other things, actually encourage our bodies to create more fat cells and then store more fat inside them.
And the study we're looking at today zeroes in on a real troublemaker, bisphenol A, which you've probably heard of as BPA. It's an industrial chemical used in certain plastics and resins, so exposure is pretty widespread. And this research really highlights it as a compound that can promote these obesity-like effects. Okay, so think of your body's hormone system like a perfectly coordinated orchestra. Your hormones are the conductors, giving these super precise instructions for everything from how you use energy to how you store fat. Now, BPA comes in like a rogue musician playing all the wrong notes. It mimics your natural hormones, totally disrupting the symphony and sending out these faulty signals that can tell your cells to store fat even when they really shouldn't.
But this is where the story takes a really cool turn, because for every villain, there's usually a hero, right? And in this story, our hero comes from a very small, very green, and incredibly powerful source. We are talking about a sprout's superpower.
So here's the good news. Nature has its own defense mechanisms. This scientific paper zooms in on a really potent compound called sulforaphane, and it's found in huge amounts in one specific food, broccoli sprouts. But, and this is a big but, it isn't just sitting there ready to go. It actually has to be activated.
So how does this whole activation thing work? It's actually this incredible piece of natural chemistry. Get this, broccoli sprouts don't actually contain sulforaphane. They contain its precursor, a compound called glucoraphanin. Now to turn that into the active hero compound, you need a special enzyme called myrosinase. And a fantastic source for that enzyme? Mustard seed. So when you combine the two, that enzyme acts like a key in a lock, unlocking the glucoraphanin and transforming it into the powerful active sulforaphane.
Now, this all sounds amazing in theory, but does it actually work? This is where the scientists really put it to the test. They created a real-world scenario to see if this natural hero could truly stand up to the obesogenic villain.
And the core finding from this study is just fascinating. It says that the mixture of mustard seed powder and broccoli sprout powder had a greater anti-obesogenic effect than just the broccoli sprout powder by itself. This right here confirms that the synergy we just talked about, it's not just a nice idea, it is absolutely critical for unlocking its full power.
And wow, this chart just lays it all out so clearly. The study used mice and induced obesity with BPA. As you can see, the group that only got the BPA, they gained a significant amount of weight over 12 weeks. But look at the other group, the one that got BPA plus the broccoli and mustard mix. Their weight gain was dramatically lower. It's a huge difference.
And this wasn't just about a number on a scale. When the researchers looked at the fat tissue itself under a microscope, they found that the mice who got the sulforaphane mixture had significantly smaller fat cells. This shows the protective effect was happening at a deep, fundamental cellular level.
But the positive effects didn't even stop there. When they looked at key blood markers, the study found that the broccoli and mustard mix helped restore metabolic balance. It significantly lowered triglycerides, which are fats in the blood, and it boosted HDLC, which is the good cholesterol that helps protect your whole system. Just a total win.
Okay, so the results are impressive. The mixture clearly works. But the real question is, how? I mean, understanding the mechanism behind it is what's truly empowering here.
So yeah, how does a simple compound from a plant manage to counteract these disruptive signals from a chemical like BPA and fundamentally change the body's entire metabolic response? Well, the answer lies in flipping a kind of master switch inside of our cells. At the protein level, what sulforaphane does is just beautiful. It's this perfect rebalancing act. The study found it turned down or down-regulated the key proteins that are responsible for creating and storing fat. And at the exact same time, it cranked up or upregulated the proteins involved in burning fat and creating energy. It's basically sending a new message to the cell. Okay, stop storing, start burning.
And the conductor of this whole cellular orchestra is a crucial enzyme called AMPK. Now, the easiest way to think of AMPK is as the body's master metabolic switch. When your energy is running low, this switch gets flipped on. It tells the cells to stop storing energy as fat and to start burning the fuel you have for immediate use. It is a fundamental regulator of our entire energy metabolism.
And here's the crucial point that ties it all together. The study found that BPA deactivates this master switch, basically pushing cells toward fat storage. But the sulforaphane from that broccoli sprout and mustard seed mixture comes in and it flips that AMPK switch right back on. And that one action helps restore the body's own innate metabolic intelligence, turning down fat storage and turning up fat burning to bring the cells back into a state of beautiful balance.
So let's just do a quick recap. First, our environment has these chemicals called obesogens, like BPA, that can mess with our hormones and encourage fat storage. Second, there's a powerful natural defender, sulforaphane, that gets activated when you combine broccoli sprouts with an enzyme from mustard seed. Third, a scientific study showed this exact combo helped fight back against BPA's negative effects in mice. And finally, the way it all works is by flipping on AMP, the body's master metabolic switch, to tell your cells to burn fat instead of storing it.
You know, it's such an empowering idea, isn't it? That we can use specific, targeted nutrition to help our bodies defend against some of these hidden metabolic challenges in our modern world. It really makes you wonder, what other powerful natural compounds are just waiting out there, waiting to be understood, that could help us build even greater metabolic resilience? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for digging into this with me.